Most debate topics ask you about what should happen into the future. These are called policy debates, and that's where models come in. But sometimes a debate is more like a question of fact. These are called empirical topics. Other times the topic is about what could have happened if history had gone differently. That's called a counterfactual. Let's break these down. An empirical topic asks, is this true? Is this happening? And is this a problem? You're debating a question of fact based on evidence and logic, not saying that something should change into the future. Some examples of empirical topics include that social media is harming young people, that our education system is failing students, that reality TV has a bad influence on society, and that professional athletes are paid too much. These topics aren't asking for any new rule or government intervention, they're just asking whether something that is already happening is true or not. Let's look at the debate that reality TV has a bad influence on society. This isn't about banning reality TV, it's about asking whether reality TV is doing more harm than good in the real world. The affirmative team needs to provide something called a test, which is a means to measure what a bad influence actually looks like. Their test in this debate might include, does reality TV encourage rude or aggressive behaviour? Does it spread unrealistic expectations about beauty or wealth or success? Does it affect how people treat each other in real life? Then the affirmative team can make arguments under that test. They can say shows like Married at First Sight or Keeping Up with the Kardashians glorifies drama, appearance, and fame without effort. That changes how young people behave and what they value. The negative team could respond that actually most people just watch reality TV for fun and they know it's exaggerated. Shows like MasterChef or The Amazing Race might promote creativity or teamwork or resilience. And so our test shows that reality TV isn't always harmful. Sometimes empirical topics look at more specific things. Take this example, that homework doesn't help students learn. Your test could be academic performance, stress levels, and how much time students spend learning versus doing worksheets. Let's move on to something a little bit more difficult. Counterfactual debates. A counterfactual debate is about something that happened in the past, but you're asked to imagine a world in which it didn't. It's like stepping into an alternative universe. These topics usually start with that we regret X or that we prefer a world with or without Y. Some examples of counterfactual topics include that we regret the rise of social media influencers, that we regret banning plastic straws, that we regret using animals in scientific experiments. Let's take the first topic, that we regret the rise of social media influencers. The affirmative team needs to ask, in a world where influencers never became famous, what else would have happened? You might ask in your speech, when did influencers start? What made them popular? If they never existed, what would have taken their place for people's entertainment? Maybe traditional celebrities, maybe online creators and educators. Then the affirmative team can argue that the world would be better, people would have healthier role models, there'd be less pressure to look perfect online, and the negative team needs to defend the world as it is right now. They might say that influencers create jobs, spark creativity. They might say they raise awareness for important campaigns, or that people can choose who to follow, so it's not all bad. Let's look at another example, that we regret banning plastic straws. The affirmative team might argue that banning plastic straws makes life harder for people, and it doesn't make a huge difference to the environment. The negative team could argue that it raised awareness and led to more action on plastic waste. Tips for counterfactuals. First of all, be realistic. You don't need to say that without social media, everyone would just read books and meditate. That's not very believable. Second tip is you should be specific. In the debate, that we regret using animals in scientific experiments, don't just say there are better options. You should explain what those options might look like. Would science therefore slow down? Would it become more ethical? In empirical debates, remember, give a test and prove whether the topic is true or not. In counterfactual debates, you need to build a believable alternative world and show whether it's better or worse than the status quo.